Hi guys, Survivor's Journey here. I wanted to come to you guys about a topic that I felt was important that we spoke about. And on the Survivor's Journey, like I said, we will be talking about a lot of different topics. And something that's very dear to me is relationships, particularly Black love. And so I wanted to speak about this topic because I was so upset with our men, so upset with our Black men, to the point where I was just like, I cannot stand Black men. And I had to really come to grips with that because obviously I have a Black father, Black brother, Black cousins, uncles, and Black male friends. So there's no way that I could just actually feel that harsh towards Black men. But I was very disappointed and I wanted to figure out where is all this coming from. And so I felt like Black men have failed us. And I feel like they have not upheld their leadership in our communities and instead have ran to other women outside of their race. And they have ran to other women outside of their race in numbers. And so I wanted to get to the bottom of it because I'm like, why are they leaving the Black women successful, beautiful, amazing Black women and just going right over to the other side? And I believe love is love, but these numbers is very concerning to me. So I had some conversations with, different people. And my husband and I both are on the same page about what's going on as far as the men leaving like they are. But I can say that after doing some research and reading and speaking to different people, I began to realize that women, Black women, we have a lot of work to do. We have missed the boat. And one of the things that I noticed about us in particular is I hear from the Black men is their main argument is our attitudes. I said it. Our attitudes. That is the number one complaint that I get from Black men is our attitudes. Now, in fairness to Black women, I can say that we get stigmatized with our attitudes, but when it comes down to, let's say, Latinas, they're a saucy Latina. It's all good when they have their attitude. But when we have our attitude, we're loud, we're ratchet, we're all these different negative things. But anybody else who have attitude, it's applaud. So in fairness to that, when it comes down to us. But I really want to dig a little deeper into what they're saying as far as our attitudes go and the difference between us and white women, because that's who they're really running to. Most of them are running to white women. And so I had the opportunity to see the difference on what they're getting over there and what they're getting over here. Now, I'm not saying anything negative about us Black women, but I am saying that we have to really look deep into how we are presenting ourselves in our relationship when it comes down to our men. I think they've gotten to the point where they're absolutely just scared of us. They don't know what they're going to get. They don't believe that we are on their side and not so much by their side. They believe that we're against them. And I am in between this topic because I want to see us do better. And so it breaks my heart when I go to a grocery store and all I see is just my husband and I being a Black couple. We can go in stores around town and there are several of Black women in the store by themselves with the kids, but we will definitely see a Black man, several of them, in the store with their white woman. And so it's a question to me because, you can see this, but the numbers that we're seeing this in is just outrageous. So something is happening. And as Black women, if we do not open our eyes and stop complaining, saying that there's no good Black men out there and there's no good man out there, we have to really start looking at how we're showing up collectively. Now, there could be a really good sister over here doing her thing, very calm, collective, got herself together, and she's being overlooked because collectively, as Black women, we are being looked at as stay away from Black women. And I don't know where this is coming from, but the way that we're going to be able to change it is that by us changing it collectively. First of all, we got to stop hating on each other, stop mistreating each other, because at the end of the day, we are all sitting in this pot together being looked at as the same exact way. And then until we can come together as Black ladies and start loving on each other, and I can say we've been doing a good job with that. Like, that's coming along, that's evolving. We're really starting to really fix each other's crowns and being next to each other and supporting each other. But we have got to understand there is a problem that's happening right now in society with us and these Black men, and there's a huge disconnect. And we know it, the Black men know it, and they are running. I asked this one man, is his preference, what is his preference? And he said he preferred being with Black women, but it's just so hard to find one that is just supportive and caring and understanding. And so I think as Black women, we've had to hold down the fort for so long that it's created like this strong woman mentality in us. And hey, I get it because I've had to raise my children by myself at one point, and I know what it's like. And so you put up this wall of having to do everything. You have to be the man. You have to be the woman. You have to be the disciplinary. You have to be the loving mother. You have to be the provider. So there's so many different components that come with women, especially if they had to do it by themselves. And so I think our men don't really understand that when they're coming into a relationship with a woman who has had to endure all of those things. But on the flip side, women, we have to understand that our Black men have it the hardest out here in society. And I'm going to give it to you straight like that. I know it may not be fair and you may feel like, well, they got it the hardest, we got it hard too. But at the end of the day, if we need assistance, we can get assistance. That man is going to help take care of us. And when it come down to the Black man, he don't have the type of support that us women get. There's a totally different society that a man have to face, and particularly Black men. And so, but if we can't be in a relationship with a Black man and not really support him and help be with him. And I'm not saying take care of him because that's not the type of sister that I am. Now, what I will do is when it comes down to me and mine, I'm going to do what's necessary for our family. But what I am saying to you is that I believe that when it comes down to you being with somebody as a woman, read the Bible because the Bible will tell you some of these things. I don't believe in, oh, I don't need a man. I don't believe in, oh, I could do it by myself. I don't want to do it by myself. I don't want to get out there and cut the grass. If I have to, I will, but I don't have to. I don't want to have the weight of all this stuff on me. I don't want to do that. That's not what God placed me on this earth for. and God designed a man to be a man, and I'm willing to allow my man to be the man. And I'm allowing myself to be in the place where I need to be at. But trust and believe, I know the stress and I know the burden that my husband hold over him. And so it is important for me to support him in his mind, support him to let him understand, hey, we're fine. It's okay, baby. Because I know how you can get, you know, and understand that when he walk outside this door, the weight that comes on him. And I believe that when it comes down to us Black women, we have to take a step back for a minute, grab hold of the wonderful women that we are. Because I'm going to tell you something, when it comes down to being a Black woman, everybody on this earth that's walking this earth, whether you're Chinese, whether you're Hispanic, yes, Hispanics, y'all Puerto Ricans, y'all got African in you. So all y'all that don't want it, you got it. It all comes from a Black woman. Every single person that it came from a Black woman, we are the beginning. And so nobody should be running from us. We should be the examples of what it is that a true Esther is. I love Esther. Esther is my girl. And the reason why I like Esther is because Esther prepared herself. And within that preparation time, that's the best time when you're preparing yourself. And I'm going to do another I'm going to do another video on preparing yourself and I'm going to tell you how I prepared myself and how I changed the way that I was thinking prior to getting married. So I'm going to talk about that in another video. But for right here, what we're talking about is how we need to change it up. Because whether you feel like, oh, I'm okay being single, or well, I'm okay. No, at the end of the day, you're not. You're not. As life goes on and as you get older, you will begin to start seeing exactly what I'm talking about. Now, I don't support bad behavior. Let me get that clear. Because if he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing as a man, that needs to be checked. And maybe that's just not the man for you. And then there's a way that you handle that. See, men particularly respond to pain and consequences. So if you don't understand that part of that aspect of a man, then you still have some learning to do. But what I am going to say to you is that when you have someone good and you take advantage of that and now they're gone, sometimes you have to sit back and feel it. But it's okay because God always has someone for somebody. So my point is that I want to go over some of my pointers here that I put down, because one of the things that men talked about was our attitudes. Another thing is the hesitance of Black women allowing them to lead and be a man. Now, I do get a lot of pushback on that, but I don't understand why you're having a hard time allowing him to lead when you picked him to be your man. Like, if you can't allow him to lead you, why is he your man? So if you are at a point where, okay, I can't let this man lead me, you're wasting your time. Stop wasting your time with a man that you can't allow to lead, and y'all co-lead and y'all guide each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Why are you wasting your time with a man that you just can't let lead and you just submit to? And that's another thing. Like, we have such a hard time with submission. But I feel like that if you don't know what that is and never done it before, don't let the word get you caught up. Because, baby, girlfriend over here is chilling, okay? So when I say chilling, I am allowing a man to be a man and the design of what God has for us women. And I know that it may be very difficult, but pick your mate wisely. Because if you can't allow yourself to just in that zone with your guy, then you may be with the wrong man. And at the end of the day, we have to live and learn, but stop being so afraid to be alone. That's the problem. You're so quick to want to be with somebody to where you're willing to just deal with anything, and you wasted your time. We only get one time on this earth, one time. And if you're willing to just throw it away with anybody who's like willing to give you a little something, then you just take what you get then. Evidently, that's what you feel like you deserve, when you and I both know that you deserve more. So I'm bringing these topics up because this is stuff that the church should be preaching about. We don't really get that in the church. And I'm going to come to you transparent because it's something that needs to be spoken about within our community, especially if you're coming from a generation of non-married women, a generation of strong Black women. So you don't really get to see the examples of how we should be showing up in our relationships and overall in our communities and overall how we treat each other. We got young, beautiful, brown girls who are needing to see these things, not twerking all around the neighborhood, throwing blunts up in the air. In a reality, there's a time where you grow past certain behaviors so that way you can learn to understand, okay, life ain't gonna stop because I'm twerking and I'm smoking all this. No, all that stuff, eventually we need to start seeing some examples on how we should be showing up for our children, showing up for our men, and showing up as Black women. And those desires for the Black man will start coming back because they're seeing these things in us. And then another thing is our ego. Because we so fine. We just so fine. We just got it going on. We come with the bang, swang, swang. Everything we got, everybody trying to implant it on them. And you know what? They may be true, but that does not mean that we have to have this soul sense of entitlement to where it's like our attitudes are so bad, like, no. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. There's a difference between entitlement and requirements of a man. But I guarantee you, if you sit back and allow yourself to grow, learn who you are. I can't stress the importance of journaling. Like, I literally had like a 6-page letter to God on my husband, who I wanted my husband to be, and what I wanted my husband to be, what I wanted him to look like, how I needed him to be. I needed a patient man because I've been through so much in my life. So I needed him to be patient and kind-hearted. And so there were so many different things that I wrote down in my journal to God on what I needed. And I just spoke my husband right up. But then I gave myself time to learn myself because I've had to deal with so much healing and I had to deal with so much pain. I had to deal with so much trauma growing up. And so I had to give myself time. Let me just give myself time. Journal. Start getting in tune with myself. What it is that I need from a man. What is it that I'm looking for? And God, what do you think I should have? Because I'm ultimately, at this point, I'm not choosing my man. I'm going to allow you to choose him. And so when I gave myself that time and allowed myself to just enjoy myself, by that time I was like, I'm not looking for nobody. I'm living my best life. I'm single and I'm loving it. And boop, here he come, showing up when I least expected it. But I was ready. And I sat back, and the difference between me dating my husband is that I allowed him to lead our relationship. I didn't go past him. I did not go past him. So I'm just letting you guys know that our Black men are leaving. And if you don't like what I'm saying, pull up the numbers. And I mean, we run into to the other side. But what is that saying about our culture? Like, what is that saying about us? Why are we feeling like we just cannot stand each other? Nope, I gotta have me a white man. Nope, I gotta have me a white woman. Ain't they the best? I had to remove myself from one group because it was just horrible. So, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with interracial dating. I'm not. But what I'm saying is, well, I do feel like Black people should be with Black people. I mean, that's just my take on things. But you can't help who you love. So you end up being with who you love. It is what it is. I'm just a big fan on Black men. That's who I ultimately feel like I can support. I can understand where they're coming from. They can understand where I'm coming from. We've had to endure so much as Black people, and I want to be able to talk about those things in my household with my Black children. I want to be able to explain to them about our history, about our hair, about our culture, about the racism and all the things that goes on in this world. I want to be able to talk to my daughters and my son about those things, because at the end of the day, I believe a Black man would be able to understand us a lot more than me being with somebody outside my race. That's my opinion. Now, be with who you want to be with. That's all I'm saying. But that's how I feel, and I'm entitled to how I feel, and I am not feeling bad about it. But I wanted to bring this to your attention, and if this video is not for you, go to the next one. But what I am saying to you is that it is time for us, Black ladies, to start paying attention on how we are showing up in this society and start really changing maybe just a little bit on how we might be responding or how we might be acting when it comes down to our Black men, because they really need our support. They really need our support. And if they don't have their Black women on their side, and then they going over there, somebody who really can't understand where they're coming from, because at the end of the day, if they did, then they would use a lot of the privileges that they have to stop a lot of this racism that's going on. And that's not happening. So at the end of the day, we need to really start showing up for our men a lot better than we are. And I'm saying that, me, the person that was like, I'm done with these Black men, that's no good. The person who was saying that. But then I had to reel it back in and start from home and being like, but why are they leaving? You know what I'm saying? Why are they leaving? And so that was what needed to be thought about for me. And I had to think about it. Why are they leaving? It's us, sisters. We got to get it together. Like, listen. And the other side is like, come on. Come on. Come on. And they just running over there. So we've got to change up some stuff. If it matters to you. If it don't matter to you, what are the statistics saying? Black women are least likely to get married. They're least likely to have this. They're most this. So, and I don't like to speak those things out. So I'm just going to say this and this. I'm just going to use that, because we got to do some changing. It's us. We've got to do some changing. And if you're looking at all these different stars for, to look up to, think about that too, what you're seeing out there with them, because they ain't really giving it to us either. So I just wanted to come to you again, Survivor's Journey. I thought that it was a topic that needed to be had. And I know I'm gonna get a lot of pushback on it, but that's okay. We can talk about it. I'm here to agree to disagree, but I'm also here to bring awareness. And it's sad. This topic is sad, but we need to talk about it. And even when it comes down to our leadership, our Black women in leadership needs to be had. So I wanted to just come to you guys and, just briefly speak about this stuff and get the conversation going and talk to our young daughters about, being ladies and, humbling ourselves and also speaking up for ourselves, but to learn how to really just love. And when you love yourself and love yourself enough and love God, have Him teach you how to be the woman that you need to be. If you want to be married, start speaking those things as though they are, because ultimately God hears you. And journal it, put it down on paper, write down what you're looking for. So again, I am keep it too long, but I just wanted to bring this to your attention and see how it goes. And hopefully you can have this conversation with someone else. Share my video, subscribe to Survivor's Journey, and I hope you have a great, wonderful day. Take care.